What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Burn it up for so. JBRISKO, not know when it's up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, y'all, since we are on the topic of family anyway, if you have not watched my last video was about a girl who finally let a man in her space after he has been chasing her and chasing her and chasing her. Now the kicker was this man was her sister's cousin. Okay, no blood relation because it was her half sister, but it was her sister's cousin. So she kind of kept it in the family just a tad bit. Now this next story is about a woman who found out that her niece was sleeping with her man. Before we get started, let me know what you would do in the comment section. You find out your niece or nephew is sleeping or messing or creeping with your significant other. What you gonna do to them? And I'm talking about both of them. Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you with me like I with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
I've been in the house all day binge watching movies, so I was watching Soul Food, and I got to the part where Cousin Faith was, Terry's husband.
Child.
So it inspired me to get up here and tell my story about my cousin.
While we talking about Soul Food, really quick. I know we have all seen the movie, or most of us has probably seen the movie. Can somebody please let me know where I can find the series? When I was a young jit, way back in the day, right? My mama used to watch the series, and I used to kind of sneak and watch the series. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really know 100% of what was going on during the series, but my adult mind remembers certain bits and pieces, and I feel like watching the Soul Food series will satisfy me so much as an adult. That is something that I just want to sit back, have my snacks, and me and my wife enjoy the series of Soul Food. If you guys know where, I don't care if I have to buy it. If you guys know where I can buy the collection, let me know. I don't see it streaming nowhere. If you guys know where I can buy the complete series, please drop it down in the comment section. And if you have a link, send it to me on Instagram in my DMs. Oh my God, I would love you forever. Help me.
My cousin Faith, because I know everybody got a cousin Faith around, regardless if it's a friend, a sister, a cousin, a niece, or whoever. So I got a niece that's the same age as me. Oh, before I start telling my story too, with my last story time about Rent-A-Center, y'all say that I'm long-winded, I got ADHD, I tell 10,000 mini stories in one story. You have to tell certain details of a story so people can understand the story. So without the details, that's like a pie with no filling. So back to the story. I got a niece that's the same age as me or whatever. So she was dating this guy at the time or whatever. He was a younger guy. He was younger than her, but together they had like 4 or 5 kids or whatever. His brother had ended up getting into some trouble. Somebody had came and boom, pew, pew, at the house or whatever. I can't remember if they moved out because they feared for their lives or if the landlord ended up putting them out. All I know is they had to move. So they were staying in hotels or whatever. With them staying in hotels, they kept applying for cribs, but they kept getting denied. So each night, their money is getting lower and lower. I was dating a guy who owned properties or whatever. So I ended up asking my friend or whatever, could he rent a place to them? My niece was like, can you please ask them? I asked him. At first, he was like, no, he didn't want to rent a place to them. He don't want to rent the family, all of that or whatever. So I let them stay at my house for a few nights because I was never really home for real. I was always staying at my man's house. But, after a while go on, I'm going to come home.
Yeah, you want to go to your place.
I really needed them to find a place.
Okay.
2 nights with them being into the townhouse, her boyfriend ends up going to jail. When he go to jail, I think he was in jail for like 2 weeks or whatever. He ends up getting a bond. When he got out, she was already wanted. So she ended up going to jail like literally right after he got out. She sat in jail for probably like, I think like 6 to 8 months, something like that. The whole time she was in jail, he had women in and out of the house, the house. One day somebody calls me or whatever. This is how I end up finding out. Somebody ended up calling me and was like, go look at such live on Facebook. So the girl was up there on live drinking a Capri Sun and eating fruit snacks in her bed. And she was like, yeah, I'm in this bed eating her kids fruit snacks, drinking they Capri Suns. Then the other girl got up there and was like, yeah, we just made us another baby in that bed. This is one of his previous baby mamas. He got her pregnant in the house. So, you know, my niece is in jail, like, going through it, like, oh my God, I can't believe he doing this to me. So, mind you, he had ended up getting sentenced to some time for when he had went to jail and got out on bond. He got sentenced to some time, but he explained to the judge that he was a full-time daddy and that my niece was in jail or whatever. So the judge was nice enough to tell him, like, look, once y'all figure out her time, we can figure out a time when you can come turn yourself in. So once she got sentenced, the judge set it up so that when she come home, he goes in. So when she got out, he had 2 weeks to turn himself in. So I'm telling my niece, like, yeah, you about to dog walk him when he get out. You know, he did you dirty, whatever. She ends up throwing a cookout for him for going away. That's what I thought the cookout was for. So I end up going out there to the cookout or whatever, you know, to see him away. Hey, go do your 2 years in jail. Then it's her turn to have people in the crib. So somebody ends up calling, was like, yeah, I see you was at the wedding reception. I'm like, what wedding reception? They like, yeah, your niece had a wedding reception. I said, girl, that was a going away cookout. They said no. That was their celebration because they went down there to the Justice of the Peace and got married. So I called her. I'm like, you married him? You married him? At first she was lying about it. Then she ended up admitting, yes, she did marry him, which I thought was the most stupidest thing ever. So I had kind of fell back from her a little bit. I really wasn't talking to her like that. On top of that, she needed to focus because now the person who pays the bills is going to jail, and then you got a background, so it's not just that easy for you to get out here and get a job like that. So now she got to try to figure out how she gonna pay the bills. I don't want to make the video too long because then it's gonna take too long to upload. Go to part 2 on how I found out my niece was sleeping with my man. Y'all people on TikTok is really crazy. Let me hurry up and stay at the story time before I get beat up.
Real bad.
All right, so boom. So months go down the line or whatever. I don't talk to my niece. I wasn't talking to her because I felt some type of way about her getting married after the dude did all of that to her. So she ends up calling me one day, you know, like asking me why she hadn't heard from me, why I wasn't talking to her. I kept everything short, sweet, and simple. So her mom ends up moving down here, which is my sister. And she was living in Atlanta, and she went to the store, came back home. Her boyfriend had died, but that's neither here nor there. Dang. So anyways, my sister was living back down here now. I ended up going out one night with my friend. She lived in a different city than me. So she came and picked me up. The plan was for me to stay the night at her house after the club. But once we went to the club, I didn't feel like staying the night. So I ended up calling my sister to see if she happened to be on that side because she hung in that city. So she was like, yeah, she would pick me up, give me a ride home. She come pick me up. I get in the car with her or whatever. And we talking to her, and she telling me how my niece's attitude had been real bad. So I was telling her, like, yeah, because my dude went around there yesterday to go fix her AC. And while I'm on the phone with him, her attitude was real nasty. And she was like, tuh, you ain't crazy. Put that shit together, sis. Girl, put what together? What is you talking about? She was like, you ain't stupid. I said, what you mean I ain't stupid? I was stupid. I was totally oblivious because I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. So she was like, listen, I don't got no stone facts or whatever. She was like, but I think they messing with each other. So I was like, why you think they mess with each other? So she just started like naming stuff. She was like, he had got her a car. She said that the rent had went from one price. She said he was giving her care credit to get the kids some glasses. He had gave her a gift card to go get some Victoria's Secret. I was like, what? So I ended up calling him, asking him about it or whatever. Of course, he denied it. I ended up calling her, asking her about it. Of course, she did.
How did the sister know it was the niece telling the sister, and is the niece this sister's child? Or this a whole nother sister, this niece? Y'all let me know that I missed something. Either way, how the hell does sister know what her boyfriend doing? And she don't even know what her boyfriend doing. How is that possible? And is the boyfriend doing it to her sister too, or just the niece? And how did the sister find out? Was the niece telling her other auntie? Like, what's tea, bruh?
She denied it. She started downplaying her own mama. Da da da. This is how.
Okay, so that must be her mama. Okay, so the sister that went to the store, came home, boyfriend was gone. Woo woo doo doo. That is the niece mama's. Okay, I was trying to figure it out, trying to put it together.
I found out for a fact that they were, and I wasn't just speculating. 2 days after I found that out about them, that's when I ended up taking my trip up the road to prison. I went to jail though, you know, of course it took time before I got sentenced to prison or whatever, but I had ended up getting locked up or whatever. And while I was in jail, he still never admitted it. But I really wasn't talking to him like that because I knew it wasn't a lie. Mm-hmm. She ends up being wanted for a murder or conspiracy to a murder. This is how everything was solid that they was dealing with each other. Someone had ended up getting murdered in her house. And when they went on a hunt to go look for her, they ended up kicking in his house because he was the landlord of the house. And I guess they had got word that him and her was, I don't know. All I know is that they found her at his house, butt ball naked. Y'all people on TikTok is really... A lot of people in the comments kept asking me to get up here and to do a part 3 of the story about my niece, but it's really not much to part 3 besides he ended up admitting it. I asked him, like, how did y'all even get to that point? He told me he went around her house one day to go fix something, and she was like, you look stressed out, like you need your sup. So that's how they ended up starting whatever they had. And he really honestly was just a man that just won't bout nothing. While I was away, he actually ended up having a baby by one of his kids' mom's best friend. And her and this girl have been best friends forever. And his reasoning for having a baby by his baby mama's best friends was because, and y'all about to really laugh at this because y'all kept asking, why does everybody end up going to jail? This the kicker. He ended up going to jail too. He had his stuff together or whatever, but he was a computer maniac. He knew how to get up there and make it do what it do. He made one of his baby mamas mad, and they called the feds on him and told the feds everything that he had going on. So when he go to court, he ends up getting out on the little monitor thing or whatever. He said that none of his baby mamas would come over there and come see him, and he had needs and all of this, and the best friend ended up just coming over one day, and they made it. She was the only one that paid him some attention. Another thing was he always talked about how when he was younger, all the girls would joke him and say he was ugly and he was dirty, and he used to say he couldn't wait to get older and get his money up, and he was gonna go back and get at every beat that ever did him dirty. When I first met him, he told me he was 35. He used to do so much for me that I decided I was going to book him a flight to go to Vegas one day. And he sent me a picture of his ID. I found out he was 42. So, yeah, he was just a fraud. But I don't talk to him. Around. I don't talk to her. And about the whole everybody going back and forth to prison. Listen, everybody come from different walks of life. I'm really transparent with my life. I don't mind sharing my stories or none of that because like the Rent Center story, for example, that Rent Center story can help an 18-year-old girl out here to not make the same mistake that I did. This story with my niece and my ex-dude also helped somebody as well. Like, I don't care who in a bind. Don't put nobody on to your man. And as far as jail goes, listen.
Facts. For real. And you should be able to trust your man and your family. You know, it shouldn't even be like that. They should actually be considering each other as family. The niece should be looking at him like Unc, even though they about to stay all around the same age. Because she said her niece is the same age as her. So, that's just, that's crazy. She got a little bit more to say. Let's see.
Your life is what you make it. And your outcomes will depend on what you surround yourself around and the people that you surround yourself around. So if you surrounding yourself around people that's in and out of jail, you 9 times out of 10 you going to jail. You surround yourself around people that's scheming and scamming, 9 times out of 10 you gonna become a scammer. So that's what I was surrounding myself around at the time. Everybody was scammers. Everybody was doing something that wasn't right. Everybody was in and out of jail. So guess where I was at? In and out of jail. I went to prison when I was 25. I got out when I was 29. I'm 31 now. I've been home for 2 years. I wouldn't dare go back there. Ain't no amount of money, none of that. It's worth the time that they took away from me. All of that in there. Somebody telling you when to eat, sleep, using the bathroom behind them girls, they coochie stinking, like being on a bus, going in transit, on a plane in handcuffs. Like nobody could never pay me to go back there.
Word.
Fighting over the telephone, like never. A lot of people in
Y'all, she spitting facts is really not worth it. You know, some people think that doing criminal acts is fun. Do not do criminal acts for fun, y'all. Find you a hobby, a legal one. Don't go out doing no illegal stuff. Talking about this my hobby, this what I like to do, or this how I make money. It isn't, baby. If you gotta clock in, you gotta clock in. Period. Y'all, this was a real short one. I'm thinking about going on over there and listening to the Rent-A-Center story. How y'all feel about that? Cause this is too short for me. I ain't finna upload this short like that. Y'all, let's see what this Rent-A-Center stuff about. Let's see. We gonna talk about it. Intermission. All right, y'all. So I have found the Rent-A-Center took her to jail story time. So we gonna go ahead and tune into it really quick. Cause like I said, the first part of this video, which is absolutely too short, I had not too much to say about the situation, but I do want y'all to comment down below what you guys would have done if you found out that your niece or nephew was sleeping with your mate. All right, look, let's go ahead and get into this Rent-A-Center story time. All right, let's get it. Let go.
This is my Rent-A-Center horror story. And it's so crazy because I got furniture from Rent-A-Center when I was 19. I'm 31 and I'm still suffering from Rent-A-Center. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But let me tell y'all how Rent-A-Center did me. So I was 18. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. It was just me and my oldest son. At the time, I think he was probably like 1 or 2 or whatever. I had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath for $550 a month with water included. That was the good old days. So I was messing with his daddy at the time when I first moved in there. When it came to me and his daddy, I always did bad. We ain't had no furniture in there. Like nothing. No couch. I think the only person that had a piece of furniture was my son. He had one of them little cheap little the little Cars bed or whatever from what's still called from Walmart, and I had stole a mattress from out of Toys R Us, put that junk in a car and pushed it out back when Toys R Us was open. So one day, me and my baby daddy, we ended up getting into it. He fight me and my sister. He ended up going to jail. When I get home, I realized he went to jail with the house keys. I had to kick the door in to get me and my son into the house that night. So even though I kicked the door in, the door was still shut and locked when we were inside of it. And it was still shut when I would go out of it. Okay, so I ended up having my ex-boyfriend come over one night or whatever, and it ended up snowing. So he was trying to hurry up and go do something or whatever. He needed the car to move one day. So he boiled some water on the stove. And mind you, I still ain't got no furniture at the time. I just got a mattress on the floor in my room. He boiled some water on the stove. And when he boiled the water, we outside and we trying to get the snow to melt so the car can move or whatever. And we just heard the smoke detector going off. We go run in the house. The whole kitchen is burnt down. Like, it's burnt down. So we end up getting the fire to go out with the fire extinguisher or whatever. So I had already called the maintenance people and told them about the door being broke. Now I got to call them and tell them that their damn kitchen is burnt down. So I ended up meeting this other guy or whatever. And we went on one date. Hold up, I'm going too fast. After I dropped my homeboy off and the kitchen was burnt down and stuff, I had got a job at a convenience store. And I took my first paycheck and I went and got some furniture from Rent Center.
Okay.
I had got a couch, a dining room table, the bed frame with a dresser, and a TV. I got 2 TVs for my room and my son's room. So I end up meeting this dude or whatever. And we end up going on one date. When we go on this one date, we just lock in. We just don't never leave each other. Long story short, he was a good provider or whatever, but he was crazy. He was abusive. Like, he was just off the chain. So he ends up re-kicking my door in. When he re-kicks my door in, at this point, the door don't shut. If you were to come to my house, you could just walk straight in there. So I ended up telling him that I couldn't deal with him no more. Like, he had to go. I don't care how much he was providing. I just didn't care. I hadn't got fired from the convenience store. Like, I just didn't care. I didn't want him around me and my son no more. So I told him he needed to go to my house and go get his stuff or whatever because I was done. So he ends up calling me and telling me, he was like, yeah, Rent Center in your house. I'm like, what you mean Rent Center in my house? Y'all got to go to part 2.
Let go.
All right, so I'm like, what you mean Rent Center in my house? I heard him screaming at them, get out, get out, get out, get out. So Rent Center I guess they came there and they seen that the door was open and they like, oh yeah. So as they're in there, he ends up pulling up. But by the time he got there, they had took, don't you know, the couches that got like the pillows to the back of them? Mm-hmm. They ended up, they got the pillows that go on the back of the couch. They got 2 of the chairs that go to the dining room table. And they got the dresser but didn't get the bed. And they had got the TVs. So when I get there, you know, I am heated. Like, Rent Center, y'all had no business in my house.
Yes, they did.
Y'all were not supposed to come in my house. So when the dude ended up leaving, like I said, I ain't had no job. You know what I'm saying? I was out here grinding, trying to figure out how I was gonna pay the rent that next month. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have it all figured out. So I ended up I was on the come up at the time. I was on the come up of the little of the scams that sent my ass to prison. I was on the come up. So I finally ended up coming into some money, and I went to go pay the people they rent. When I go take the lady her rent, mind you, I'm taking her like $1,000. I think I took her like $1,150 or $1,200, something like that, because I was behind, and plus I needed the late fees or whatever. So when I get up there to the rental office to take the people their money or whatever, the lady tell me, baby, keep your money. She said, I need you to be out of my apartment by Monday. I'm like, by Monday? Ma'am, it is Friday. What did you talk about? You need me to be out your apartment? No, I think it was Thursday. So I go home. I cry for a little while. I'm like, get it together. You know, you got to get out.
Right.
I took the furniture. I ended up finding the apartment that Friday. The lady ain't take the money from me or nothing. She was just like, baby, you got to go. So I had the $1,200 deposit, the money orders or whatever that I could put towards moving somewhere else. So that Saturday, I ended up finding an apartment. I had to move out that apartment, y'all. A little girl I went to school with had got killed in there, and I think she was hunting me. But that's neither here nor there. I ended up finding that apartment. The lady said that I could move in on that. I think she said I could move in on like Tuesday or something like that. So I ended up going home, and I threw all the stuff out from Rent Center. I didn't think that I needed to take it with me, and for some reason, I don't know, I guess I was mad at Rent Center for coming in there, taking half of the stuff that they took or whatever. So I didn't think to call Rent Center and get them their shit.
Right, come get the rest of y'all stuff. Y'all want it so bad.
All right, so time go by. You know, I had threw their stuff out on the curb. By this time, when I move into my new crib, I am up. I'm talking about I'm up. I'm rolling in dough. You can't tell me nothing. I'm out here scheming and scamming.
And scamming
Peter,
and scheming.
Paul, Keisha, Lisa, everybody. So some time go by, And one of my cousins ended up hitting me up and say that I had a warrant out for my arrest. I was not worried about no warrant. Go to part 3. Alright, so I don't pay her no mind when she tell me I got a warrant. Yeah, okay, they can catch me when they catch me. Mind you, back then when I was younger, I was in and out of jail. It was bad. Every time you turn around, I was in court. I was in jail. It was horrible, especially to be a female. Not saying that it looked better for males, but I just really feel like females just don't belong in jail. We don't. So, I end up, I was just out here living my life. Never heard anything else from Rent Center ever since I tossed the stuff out. I thought everything was good. So, to sum this story up, I ends up going on this little thing with somebody or whatever. And on the way back, we ends up getting pulled over. So when we get pulled over, then the story about how we got pulled over, that is so funny, but it is a whole different story time. But that lady was crazy. She tried to steal my money. Like, it was crazy. Anyway, she lied about having a license or whatever, and I had her driving. She lied about having a license. They ended up taking both of us to jail because they said we both had a warrant or whatever. So they told me that I had a warrant for a felony warrant at that for removal of rental property. I'm like, that's a felony? Like, even though I was in and out of jail, I wasn't in and out of jail on no felony charges and all that. So I was like, this is crazy. We get down there, we see the magistrate or whatever. The magistrate give both of us a bond. Now, this is the funny part. They give both of us a bond. I'm sitting there chilling on the phone because if you get locked up in Chesapeake, Virginia, you could talk on the phone. They don't care. They ain't like the other jails, the phone's where you get to talk on the phone. I'm chilling. I'm having a good old time on the phone waiting to get bonded out.
Not enjoying yourself.
Man, the people come calling me back to the magistrate and say, I ain't got no bond. I said, what you mean I ain't got no bond? Boy, I cried and I cried and I cried. I could not believe that I did not have a bond. Dad took my bond back. So the original thing was from, the Rent Center thing was originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Mm-hmm. So Norfolk called over there to their magistrate and told them, I guess they must have did something on the warrant where they was asking for me to not get a bond. I don't know. Either way, they didn't get my ass no bond. So then I had to wait for Norfolk City to come pick me up or whatever. Now this is where the story gets messed up at, y'all. Norfolk comes and pick me up. I sit in jail for 2 weeks. One of the agreements was they would drop the felony charge down to a misdemeanor if I paid the balance off or whatever. So by this time I got a second baby. So my second baby daddy, he went down there. He paid the thing in full or whatever, brought the receipt to court. They ended up dropping it down to a misdemeanor. I got out of jail. Everything was good. Now, I never was really the type of girl who worked. I just always found quick, fast, and easy ways to get me some money. So, like I said before, I had came up a little bit in the world and I was out here doing this and doing that or whatever. And I ended up going to prison. So I went to prison for 4 years. I went to federal prison. So I had money when I had money while I was in there, and I had money when I came home. But I had like some houses and stuff because I had bought properties. Like I had got to a point in my life where I was doing really good. I went to prison when I was 25. I came home when I was 29. So I had ended up, you know, since I've been out, I'm trying to like, you know, just do right, do better, and stay on the track. I went and got a job. I've been at my job almost a year. So why, not too long ago, a few months ago, I go check my deposit that came in my account. Y'all, Rent Center is garnishing my paycheck. Rent Center and Grand Furniture. Now, I rightfully own Grand Furniture. because when I went to prison, I still owed them $2,000 on the couch. But they charging me $7,000, $7,600 to be exact. And then Rent-A-Center is charging me $3,700. So I went down to the Silver Division or whatever, went and found some paperwork, went in front of a judge. The judge was like, well, you know, if you come up with your receipts and stuff like that, then I'll be able to throw the case out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I called the attorney that I had on the case because I'm thinking like, you know, if I call this attorney, I know he still got the file. He said he ain't got the file no more. I had a paid attorney. He said he remember I paid. He remember bringing the receipt to court, everything, but he don't got the file no more. Guess who don't go to work no more? Me. I'm not about to be working for y'all to take my check. They take 25%. Grand Furniture take 25%. And Uncle Sam. And all of this was from back when I was... No. Y'all want somebody to go out here and give. So I'm up here...
Wait. My thing is it not on file with the court system if the attorney brung the receipt that everything was paid in full from Rent-A-Center? That's confusing to me. Can somebody who is familiar with this type of stuff explain? Are they saying that she owes for furniture, or are they trying to charge her for fees from the court or something? Like how could Rent-A-Center come back and garnish her check if everything is already paid in full? How is that not on file with the court? That's too weird to me. I don't see another part on here. Maybe it's not labeled, but we gonna call that what that is right there. I was really curious to know what this Rent-A-Center story time was about. I didn't know that they could send you to jail. I know they can garnish your check. Okay. I know that, but I didn't know they can put out a warrant. I've never gotten anything from Rent-A-Center, but I know some people who runs off on Rent-A-Center. Like they go get whatever they need to get, make a couple payments, and then they probably like move or something. So they don't even have a contact information or nothing. I've heard of people doing something like that, but I didn't know that from doing that, they can put out a warrant. And the crazy part about it is this happened back in the day. This not no new stuff. So this was back in the day. And I've heard of people recently finessing Rent-A-Center. Rent-A-Center said, hey, y'all ain't finna keep getting us. We gonna get our money one way or the other. Y'all let me know if y'all ever finesse. No, don't do that. Don't incriminate yourself. Unless you have paid your debts and made everything right with Rent-A-Center. Y'all let me know what y'all think about both of these story times. She has a couple of short type of story times on her TikTok page, so I may be tuning in to more. Y'all let me know if y'all interested in that. Look, if you like reactions from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Run it up for sure. JBRISKO, not no amateur. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.